Good evening, guys. Welcome to the Thursday Tea Time Chat. It's that Thursday, and we'd like to have a little quick chat right bang in the middle of the week, or some of you, it might be a weekend. Who knows? But it's the three amigos again. We've got Jez and Kenny in, so welcome to chat. Jez, you had a good day, my friend?
Yeah, I haven't done a lot, really, to be fair. I will apologise, though, if I have to get you to repeat things, because I've got a totally blocked right ear.
Oh, no.
Can't hear bugger all. So it's a bit annoying. You get that sort of vibration. I can hear myself. It's like I'm talking to myself, you know what I mean? But, yeah, all good, mate, all good.
Excellent. And Kenny, you had a good day? Is it everything good? Still a happy Kenny?
Oh yeah, but a lot of it's been work. Obviously, like I work in one team, and one team is not getting the other. So I'm getting it both barrels from both managers, and I'm one of the managers. So so it's one of the things where all right, yeah, and the other one goes, oh yeah. It's a bit back and forth, but there's been like some developments. Obviously, you're going to announce it as well, but I've just seen that Jesus is back in training.
Yeah,
that's good, if you say so. But we still don't know what muscle that Gyökeres is injured. We just hear it. All we know is muscle injury, so we don't know how serious it is.
No, it's a bit concerning. We don't know. I mean, there is. Let's have a little share of the screen here while we're on to injuries. Let's get this up. So, I mean, it doesn't really say. It just sort of says muscular, but there is rumours that it could be hamstring. So it says the latest Arsenal injury news. Miko admitted he's concerned about Victor Gyökeres. Our striker did not travel to Prague this week. The Gunners face Slavia Prague on match day. Right, we know that. He's still got concerns. The Swedish international is one of 6 attackers on the treatment table. I didn't know we had 6 attackers, to be honest, but hey-ho. Arteta conceded that it was very unusual to have an attacking players to be all out with knee injuries at the same time. So is it knee injury? Is it muscular? What is it? I don't really know, but it is a concern. I think it's very unusual to have that many players in the front line with issues. Perhaps it's because the amount of running he does. And now it says the latest injury news, Victor Gyökeres, injury muscle. Unspecified muscular injury last weekend. Arteta said that the further tests and scans will need to be undertaken. So we're still none of the clearer. But is Marino good enough, Jez? Is Marino good enough? Is he gonna? Let's say Gyökeres is out for 5 weeks. He's let's just look at the worst case scenario. Is he good enough to take us? Is he good enough to keep this kind of winning form up, or have you still got concerns about it?
As of right now, I'd say he is good enough. He's knocking in goals. Is he the same quality as Gyökeres? No, but all the time he's scoring, then I would say I'm happy, because that's what we need.
Yeah.
I don't think Gyökeres yet has quite found his true form, or certainly the form he showed last season in his who was he played for before? I forgot now.
Marino.
Sporting.
Gyökeres, Sporting, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. So can Marino fill in that hole? I think so at the moment. But I'd like Gyökeres back as soon as is possible. We don't know when that's going to be, sadly, but I'm sure it will come out by the weekend what is going on. And yeah, I'm quite happy with Marino, to be honest. I don't think he's the greatest, but then Gyökeres hasn't been the greatest. So we'll go along with what we got at the moment. That's pretty much it, really.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, Marino ain't really done a lot wrong, Kenny, has he? But looking at this here, looking further down, it says Kai Havertz, and it's got return date late November. Okay, so he went a minor knee surgery problem he sustained in the opening week of the season. He's expected to return after the international break. So what do we do now? Now there's a problem for the manager, isn't it? Because what are we going to do there?
Well, for him, it's solvable because of the way we played. As the way we're playing at the moment, Marino would just fill the job in, and he's done his manager a good service by scoring a couple of goals. Against it wasn't really a tricky away game. It's only because of the distance we had to travel and because they haven't been beaten. But they lost every game in the Champions League so far, Prague. But it was a case of we needed them again against Sunderland because obviously it's the league. They're quite a physical side. He likes to put his head in where it hurts. So to be honest, are we going to miss Kai Havertz that much? You won't know, but one thing is that at least we know we can rely on Mikel Merino. He hasn't got pace. He doesn't run the channels, but he's kind of a movement and positioning, especially in attacking areas, second to none. I mean, his goal, yesterday, first touch, cushion. On Tuesday, first touch, cushion, side volley into the net, and then obviously he goes with the keeper. The keeper makes a mistake. He gets there first. You can't put a price on that kind of utility that guy gives us. But of course, if Kai Havertz comes back fit and raring to go, that's another option. Now, of course, Gyökeres is our first choice. Of course, that he's cost a lot of money and he comes from a massive reputation. But there are players; those two will be able to fill a hole. It'd be like we'll basically going back to what we know, not what we like, but what we know in terms of Kai Havertz playing up top, and Mourinho playing up top. We've, despite the fact that both of them get probably criticism, both of them look lukewarm. Our records since both of them came into the club is a lot better than what it was before they came to the club. This is just facts.
No, spot on, mate. Spot on. I mean, one thing Marino does offer, he seems to he's something different to Gyökeres. I mean, we've seen Gyökeres kind of running into the channels, closing down. He has to do a lot of running, doesn't it? So the amount of running and the amount of distance he's had to cover, it's no surprise that he's not getting in sort of out and out goal scoring opportunities because Marino doesn't give us that, does he? But how I look at it, he's in the right place at the right time, Jez, isn't he? So he does offer something different. You know what I mean? And with Gyökeres, I just feel that he's kind of. Do you sometimes feel that he tries a little bit too hard? Do you think he's trying to impress too much and not being in the right positions?
I've been saying this for a while. That to me, you can't dispute his work rate, but I don't like it when a forward has to come back tracking for the ball. I want him up the top where he can latch onto it, take on a defender, take on that shot, header, whatever. But I'm not knocking him for his work rate. But I said a while back, I think he tries that a little bit too hard. He's not always in the right position. There's been occasions when he's been in that 18-yard box, and he's sort of what's the word? He sort of stumbles over the ball. It's frustrating.
He panics, doesn't he? Sense of panic.
Yes, that's a great way of looking at it. It's almost a panic. The ball's on top of him, and he doesn't have any way of getting it out of his feet. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I've noticed that many times.
And it gets whipped away from him, or he just doesn't do anything with it. So that, I think, is an issue. As a player, I think he's quality, but I think he's just got to step back a little bit. I also don't think he gets enough quality service, especially from Saka. I think Saka has dropped form quite dramatically at the moment. But Gyökeres, I can see he's got it. I can see why maybe last season he scored a lot of goals, but it's a different pace of league. Premier League's very fast and physical, and I don't think he's quite yet, DJ, settled into that yet.
No, I think he's finding it. I think listen, he has scored goals. It's different if he hadn't have scored goals, Kenny. I mean, he is scoring goals, but it's true what Jez says there. He gets into that box and he sort of gets it under his feet. Whereas Marino, to me, he's already settled. He's already got his eye on the goal at the moment. And I've been criticised for this because I've been told that, oh, how can you say Marino's better than Gyökeres as a goal scorer? I've not said that. What I've said is at the moment, if you was to pick a natural goal scorer for Arsenal, ignore what he does at Sporting and everything else, how we play, the tactics we play, Marino, it just seems more simple for him. Is that because he's been at the club longer?
Yes, I think it is. I think what's happened as well, if you don't have to say that who's better, one's a better finisher and one's a better player. What you can say is that Marino is more suited to our system at the moment, in the way we play, and that's something that can't be denied. Because he's been playing the team a long while. He knows the positions to take. He knows when the passes are coming. Another thing about Marino is that sometimes when you're in the box, they always say that when you're a striker, always stay still.
Yeah.
Stay still. And if you notice his first goal, he stays still. He stays still, and then he reacts when he needs to react. His goal against Real Madrid, the balls come behind him, but he stays still, gets his contact, and puts the ball in the net. And that's one thing, you would think that you expect that from Gyökeres, because he is he is a striker. That is his position. But when you look at the positions, we get into, when a cross is coming, he stays still, boom, back in the net. Leicester City, stays still. The second goal, side foot with his left foot, stays still. You know what I mean? Fulham at home, where even the direction, when the ball comes in the box, he's calm, he stays still, boom. Now, don't get me wrong, he's not a natural striker. There's going to be a time that if he does lead the line permanently, you may not see his returns because the defender's going to be aware of those movements. Exactly. And they're going to think, right. And then we will get frustrated because he hasn't got the pace to get away from his main. He's getting bullied by his defender because we use him as as a form of surprise. Do you remember Paul Walhurst?
Yeah.
All those ago, 93, Sheffield Wednesday, when he came, when the centre half came into the defence, the forward line, took people by surprise. But remember when he used to get the ball in the box, he used to stay still.
Yeah.
Natural
do the simple thing.
Do the same thing. And Zubimendi kind of reminds me a bit of Paul Walhurst in that respect, in terms of the positions he takes.
Very similar.
Although Paul Walhurst had pace, something that Marino doesn't, but it's the same sort of positions. But if you to play Paul Walhurst, rewind back to the 1990s, and you say, right, he's our main striker, it wouldn't work out because it's not an element of surprise. Teams will know about him. So yes, he does look good in that system, but the more natural, understudy for, Gyökeres is actually Kai Havertz, or could take his place, because Kai Havertz, that is his natural position. Split, although he can play in the midfield, he could play on either side of the front three, but this position where he's played his best football for us is false number 9. But let's remember, I'm not saying Kai Havertz is the angel Gabriel.
Oh, this is it. They'll all start.
I know you guys are thinking that you haven't forgotten about Man United in the cup, and that takes a long time to get over. But in terms of how we praise Mourinho, he does the right things. But what happens when we take away the element of surprise? Yes, you know what I mean?
Exactly. I mean, I can't for the life of me see Kai Havertz getting anywhere near this team, because if you've got Marino now, who's looking like the only backup striker, and we'll get on to Odegaard and the Eze situation at the moment, because it looks like he's returning.
Sorry, but it seems like SLD has followed us over.
Big up SLD. Marino is better finisher than Ian Wright, Cliff Bass and John Radford.
Yeah, I was having a little giggle at that.
Oh dear. Oh, I'm not commenting on that. Oh, Prince Fawad's in as well. Big up, Prince. Hope you're well, brother. There's only one forward win us the league, Yorkeres. People of last season, Kai and look. I don't think we can rely solely on Kai, Havertz and Marino to win the league. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is when Yorkeres is not around, looks like Marino is a good option. And at the moment, he's just delivering. He's just delivering. I can't see where Kai gets in the team. Can you? I mean, Havertz is going to be back at some point. And we all know what the manager thinks of Havertz, Jez. He thinks he's a real integral part of this team going forward. He likes the way he links up. He likes his touch. But can you actually see him realistically getting into this team at the moment? Or should he get in the team?
This is the problem, DJ and Kenny, right? This is one of the things I mentioned last week, I think. I can't remember whose show it was. It might be my own. I can't remember. And this is where the manager can make a fatal error, because we know how much Arteta rates Havertz. We know how much rates Odegaard, right? When he's fit, I would not be at all surprised, right, if he's brought straight back in. Right?
That'll upset the winning momentum, though, won't it?
Well, that's my point. This is what Arteta does. And that's my worry, because at the moment we've got a very good, solid defence, fantastic defence. Midfield is okay. Up front, we've got options. We're not the best up front. We're not. We don't score enough goals from open play, for my liking. But we know how he likes to shoehorn players back in when they're not good enough. Like, look, Kai Havertz may be fit, but he won't be match fit. There's a big difference. Big difference. And that is my worry about what Arteta could mess up this whole situation, this whole team, by bringing in a player like that who's not going to deliver. Because let's be honest, he don't rip up trees scoring goals, Havertz, does he?
No.
Right. How many goals he scored last season, Kenny? You'll know.
12, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Before he got injured, he was our top goal scorer with 9 goals, was it?
9 goals. I think he got 9 Premier League goals. I think he got 12, 13 overall.
See, now,
it's
not enough for me, Kenny. And that's my worry, because at the moment, I think we're a very impressive team. We're doing very, very well. But my doubt is the weakest link, and the weakest link is Arteta. Sorry.
This is where the question marks is, isn't it? I mean, there he is on the screen there. I think that was after the Brentford goal he scored or whatever. But, you know, big up Shane in the house. Make sure you go over to his Bruised Banana later on. I have got it redirected, but I might be a bit early, Shane. But, yeah, Havertz and Odegaard will both start every game when they're fit. This is the worry, Kenny, isn't it? I mean, look, I know it's all positive. We're not being negative. We're just having a discussion because we've got history with this manager, haven't we? And, you know, and we'll get on to Eze a little bit later, because I don't think personally Eze has done enough to dislodge the captain from the team. That's why I think Odegaard's coming back in.
Yeah.
What's your views on it, Kenny? And if it does happen, will it have an effect on the team, or will it improve the team?
Well, Odegaard will get. Odegaard's is well, it shouldn't be a no-brainer. You know, if you look at his performances last season, there was always, you know, the case for him to be replaced. On a, you know, maybe on a temporary basis, but for some people it would have been on a more permanent basis. But before he got in, well, the thing about the Odegaard situation is he'll get injured again probably this season anyway, because we've seen a lot of secondaries. First we've seen the shoulder, then it's the knee. You know, it's just, I think it's the nature of the beast regarding Martin, is that there will be injuries, you know, regarding him. So, and I do feel the same about Jesus. Obviously, he's back in training, but I can say without any hesitation, he'll be back in. There'll be more injuries coming because history says that will happen. But yeah, Martin will get his place back. Will Havertz get his place back? Well, it depends on your case, really. You know, how he is when he gets back, how fit he is when he comes back, and his performances, where he scores goals or not. But the manager will be tempted to rotate them. There'll be certain games, I could promise you, maybe even the big games away from home, when he won't play Victor. He'll put him on the bench to come on with the last 20 minutes and start Kai. Be prepared for that. Kai has the potential to be very much our horses courses guy. You know what I mean? In a way that Victor will probably be the main man because of the outlay we bought on him and because he is the finished product. But the manager still has a lot of time for Kai. He thinks highly of him. You know, one thing about the manager, managers of his ilk, is, you know what? It's always a case where they like players who they feel is tactically important to the team. The first thing when you speak to Arteta about your Odegaard, he presses from the front. He leads to press. I need him in my team. That's the first thing he'll say to you. The same thing he'll say about Havertz is that he can play various positions, and he can play various positions across the front three, and he can switch positions. He can be on the right, then on the left, and he can, that's the sort of players that he'll want. So for me, there is no evidence that both those players will be big part players when they come back from injury.
Yeah. I'm with Jez. I've got to worry about it because I don't know how that's going to upset the system. I mean, Di Capo, big up, my friend. It's good news to me, to be honest. With Havertz and Odegaard, we can play different styles. Do we need to change a winning formula at the moment, Jez? This is what I mean. Do we need to change the styles, or do we just keep going as we're going? And if it needs, there's a good old saying, isn't it? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Do you know what I mean? This is the worry.
I think I hear what Capo's saying. I do. I think it's a valid point. The thing I worry about, we have a winning formula right now. I mean, nobody can argue about that. You know, excellent form in the 3 competitions we've been in so far. So, do we need to change it right now? No. I think we keep going. I don't remember too many times when we were top of the league with Wenger, he would mix it up that often. Fair. He kept going, he kept pressing with pretty much the same setup. Yes, we have got options when Odegaard comes on and plays, but my worry with Odegaard is it's too pedantic. The football is too slow. He doesn't press forward enough for my liking in that position. You brought up a point which you're going to come to in a bit about Eze. Right now, I don't think there's any need to change it. I don't think there's any need. But there may be an occasion that we will have to change things because maybe our form will drop and it's time to bring in new, what do you call it, new blood, you know, to actually give us those options. But right now, no.
I mean, talking about new blood and having to change things, I mean, we've got this guy supposedly in training now, as Kenny alluded to. Let's have a go here. The one and only, just in case anyone's forgotten what he looks like. Jesus, apparently back in training. Kenny, I've said, right, that if we can't shift him on, or Berta's struggling to get him out of the club, and if he does get him out of the club, it'll be an absolute miracle. I mean, you've got to remember, this guy's on what, 265, £280,000 a week. there's a likelihood that we're probably going to have to keep him until at least the end of the season.
Yeah.
Bearing that in mind, see, I'll give you my view with Jesus. I was very excited when we signed him.
Mm.
He's had moments in the team where he's looked absolutely brilliant, and he scored some good goals. But he hasn't been out and out goal scorer. However, I have seen him play on the left for Man City, and I've seen him play very, very well there.
It's not his permanent position. He's not his permanent position. I think we knew what we were getting. The way the team. I think a lot of Arsenal fans, when they look at the players we buy, especially the players of forwards, it's like I think the only people at Arsenal who actually doesn't really feel they need a striker as a manager, because the way we play doesn't link to a Gyökeres type player. The only way a player, a centre forward, could play in our team is if they're someone like Haaland or Mbappe, someone that's so unique and such a good finish, a unique finisher that accommodating them in the team will not make us look weak, bad, would not affect other areas because they're that good. You know what I mean? Haaland, not only does he score goals, he's physical. He's got pace. He gets on the shoulder of the defender. So he has those sort of attributes. You know what I mean? So you don't really affect the way you play. In terms of Gyökeres, he doesn't have those attributes that our good friend Haaland has. So when you've got players like Jesus, they do look at like $1 million because he can play the left, he can play just behind, can play up top. He's that kind of like split striker.
Versatile,
and he's versatile, and that's the sort of strikers that our good friend Guardiola loved. But when you think about, if we got a 30-goal a man strike, 30-goal a season striker, we're going to be, top banana. We'll win the league. Well, Jesus isn't that player. The most goals he scored in the season at Man City was 14. But that didn't bother Guardiola because his 14 goals wasn't the issue. It's his movement, his work rate enabled Man City to be a powerhouse attacking team, which because of his movement, that left space for De Bruyne, that left space for the other players. Who's the guy who's played for Leicester? Leeds' favourite player, right winger, Algerian, born in France. Mahrez. Yeah, so when he did, but he didn't start all the games, did he?
No,
he wasn't a regular starter at Man City.
No,
but what he did is that he brought other players into play, and he does the same at Arsenal. He brings Saka into play, brings Odegaard into play, brings Martinelli into play. That's why he's worth his weight of gold. But this blue ribbons kind of expectation of 30 goal season, it's not going to happen. But with Gyökeres, he's a different kind of player where he's not going to enhance the way we play. He's going to take away from what we play. But we find another way where he takes players out of position, and that in that way, it's creates space. But he's not doing it through Jerry movement. He's doing that through work rate, hard work. But at the end of the day, the reason why a lot of people wanted Victor Gyökeres is because they thought, right, he's a 30-goal season man. He's going to be the guy who's going to prepare us to the league. But it's not looking like that at the moment because he's not really in tune the way we play. We don't play like that. So remember when Andy Cole went to Man United? Do you remember Andy Cole when he went to Man United?
Yeah.
Before he United, 30 goals a season at Newcastle, but he had to develop his game to suit Man United
before he started playing. Yeah, I mean the thing is as well though with Gyökeres is, I mean, can you see him playing a similar role to when we signed Jesus by creating space? Do you think that Gyökeres' main attributes is going to be under this manager creating space?
In a barnstorming sort of way, yes. But Jesus is the quick feet, the movement, the skill. While Gyökeres is making a run and then taking people out of position in a sort of like barnstorming kind of brutal kind of way, physical kind of way.
I just don't think, and I said this, and this is no disrespect to what's going on at the moment, but I said it all along. I don't see Gyökeres as a 25 plus 22 goals plus goal scorer at Arsenal. At this, from what I've seen at the moment, I'm not saying he ain't going to score goals. I'm not saying that he's not going to be vital for us. I'm not saying he's a bad player, and he's a brilliant signing. My biggest worry is that he could turn out to be similar to Jesus, where he's just kind of, scores the odd goal, but creates a lot of space. Can you see Gyökeres being an absolute legend at the club, 20 goal a season, man?
Me? No. I always said that when we bought him, I think he's the sort of player that's going to be a 15, 18 goals a season type fella, which is a worry, but he may get up and beyond that, and I hope he does, because that's what we need to get us over the line in these competitions. Jesus, for me, I was never really that impressed anyway. I won't lie. And apparently it was a while back, a month, 6 weeks, that when he came back into getting into training or gym work, should I say, that the club has said he's free to leave in January.
Yeah, I just can't see how we're going to move him on unless a Saudi club comes in for him.
That way, yeah, we're not good at selling players, and he's on big money a week, which is always something I think is an idiotic thing we do. But I'm not writing off Gyökeres at all.
No, we can't write him off. We're not writing him off. We just got a few little questions to ask.
I think it sometimes does take players time.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be fair. When Henri came into the club, he wasn't ripping up trees from week one.
No.
It took him time. And it was only the fact that Wenger moved him out of the position out onto that left wing. He changed him. And from there on, well, the rest is history. So maybe right now it's time for Mr. Arteta to try something with Gyökeres and maybe stick him out on the left wing.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. I think we're not being foolish and saying, "Oh, well, that's it. He's finished. Get rid of him." No, not at all.
No. It's just that the options we've got coming back, when you say Kai Havertz and Marino, and people are going to say, "Hang on a minute, you was all banging on about a number 9. You don't. The reason why you want a number 9 is that you don't want to see the likes of Havertz and Marino up front." I don't. I personally don't. I want Gyökeres. I just wish Gyökeres would do what we've signed him for, Kenny. But for me, he seems to be. Do you know what I mean? I just want him in the middle of the box. I just want him to be that fox in the box. I just want him to be the striker. That's where we've got to rely on Eze. Go on, mate.
We have a style of play. It hasn't changed.
No.
It hasn't changed for as far. Probably it's been like refined, but ultimately it doesn't link for a player to just score 30 or 40 goals. That's not what we're about. You know what I mean? It's all about work rate, creating space for the team, being enabled that when we don't have the ball, he's working hard and he's the first line of defence. That's what this team's about. You look at Jesus, you look at the first press when Jesus is inside. You're correct. Sorry, Odegaard and Jesus pressing, and then that's the sort of work. Gyökeres, was he doing that at Sporting? Don't know. He probably did it a bit of commentary, but Sporting he didn't have to do that. So he has to adapt to the way we play, and sometimes, as much as we have a romantic view of the centre forward, the guy who can get 25, 30 goals a season. You'll find nowadays that player, for the time being, is obsolete. You know what I mean? Look at the players who look at, and I say it respectfully. Let's talk about Solanke. He got the odd goal here and there, but because he for one season he got 19 goals, he earned a multi-million-pound move at Spurs. Like he's a striker. Let's not give him that. But that's what we seem to do. Is that if there isn't actually a top class centre forward around. So what we do is we adapt, and then we just say, all right, that's it. That's a lot. We're satisfied that. Whilst you'll find the actual players who actually are more potent, they've got the best goal scoring record. They're actually playing on either on the left or the right hand side. Saka's, your Salah. He's not a centre forward, but his record is that of a centre forward, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's crazy. It's madness. He's Salah's figures is madness, and this is what I mean. I think we just took it that Gyökeres saw them goals at Sporting, and he's naturally going to do that for Arsenal. But sometimes it just doesn't work out that way. Just want to go on to the Eze situation again before but big up before I do. Big up everyone in the chat. Make sure that you're subbing to Jez and following Kenny on Insta. He hasn't got a channel, but make sure you can follow Kenny on Insta, and he does get back to most people. He tirelessly, he must have blisters. But listen, big up the chat and everyone in the chat. Can you do us a favour and make sure you smash a like? It literally just takes half a second. Smash a like and make sure you're subbing as well. It does help the channel, but big up everyone. Again, we're just questioning. We're not being negative, but I've not seen the real Crystal Palace Eze. I've not seen the Eze that I wanted to sign at Arsenal 2 years ago. Again, I've seen glimpses of Eze. He's a brilliant player, fantastic signing. I'm glad he's at Arsenal. However, he's not done enough, is he? We know Odegaard's coming back after the international break. He's in training. He's the club captain. And I said this to Kenny on DG's channel yesterday. For you to dislodge the Arsenal captain, you've got to be playing pretty special.
Yeah.
Has Eze done enough to dislodge Odegaard? And if he hasn't, where does Eze play?
That's my worry, actually. When Odegaard went out injured, I thought, right, here's your opportunity, son. Go in there, grab that 10. Go in and grab it. Sadly, we haven't yet seen, I agree with what you said, the Eze at Crystal Palace. We haven't seen that yet. And he's got to step up, because otherwise I'm convinced, more than convinced, that once Odegaard is fit, he'll be straight in. And Eze, as you say, where will we play him? Will he be a bench warmer? I hope not, because he's got fantastic potential. But at the moment, he's got to adapt to whatever Arteta is telling him to do. I have no idea what that is. Maybe that doesn't suit him at the moment. But he's got to step up. We're not seeing enough of what great potential he has. He's got fantastic quality. I've always liked watching him when he was at Palace. So, yeah, Eze, mate, you've got to step up the mark a little bit, mate. Otherwise, I think you'll find it hard to be first choice over Odegaard, because we know how much Arteta rates Odegaard. And yeah, I don't want that. I do not want that, because I think personally, if you want my honest opinion, I think Eze's got far more potential than Odegaard, to be honest.
This is it. I mean, it is worrying. And Kenny, if Odegaard does come back in the team, because, we've all got concerns about Eze not really shining, is that because of Arteta, or is that because of Eze's just not taking his chance? And does he move Trossard from the left-hand side? Because I don't think Trossard should deserve to lose his place, really.
Well, without a shadow of a doubt, it doesn't. Look, fair's fair. I criticised him. People might say it's been fair or unfair, but the fact is that Trossard has done nothing to lose his place. despite the fact that Martinelli, and it's highly likely he'll keep his place for a long while yet, because Martinelli's got a thigh injury. Well, thigh injuries are a lot more serious than hamstring injuries. Thigh injuries could take. You don't know, and you don't know what you like when you come back from a thigh injury. They're really, really pain in the arse injuries. So he's got an in there. In terms of, is they taking his chance in terms of Odegaard, it was, look, we know what he can do. We know he's like what he did at Crystal Palace, but Crystal Palace is Crystal Palace, Arsenal's Arsenal. It's night and day because of the manager and demands. There isn't Glasner who's going to accommodate a fantastic footballer, and he delivered. He had a fresh role at Crystal Palace, and boy, the FA Cup. I mean, the goal in the first goal gets Fulham in the quarters. The first goal in the semis against Aston Villa, and then the goal in the final. When come on, unbelievable. You know what I mean? But he's at Arsenal now, where we play a lot different to Crystal Palace, and the demands. He's got a very demanding manager. Manager. Tactically, he's very demanding.
And he's got to get used to tracking back, because Eze's not used to having to defend, is he?
Yeah, and he's not a first choice as well. So that's a lot to get in with.
He's at a big club. I think it's the realisation that he's just at a big club and he's just not hit that highlight. He's just not hit those heights yet, has he? And he's finding it. I think he's finding it tough. But it's a nice problem to have for Arsenal, though, isn't it?
One thing, DJB, and I suppose that you got the same thing about Victor. They've only been here 5 minutes.
Yeah,
I think so. In those mitigated circumstances, and the results are. Come on, we are 7 points ahead of 7 points ahead of our rivals.
And long may it continue.
Long may it continue. But the style of play, when you said if it ain't broken, don't fix it. Well, you do fix it because, as you well know in football, oppositions do work out your weaknesses, and they do work you out. And so you have to stay at one ahead. And teams are going to work us out. Who knows? Maybe next season they'll work us. Well, definitely next season they'll work us out. But towards the end of the season, teams are going to find a way to deal with us. You know what I mean? Some teams are going to be good enough in all the disciplines and may take a point of us and might even beat us, like Liverpool did.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So it's a case where you have to move. You have to be ahead of the opposition. So don't change the winning team. Don't change the winning formula. That mantra only lasts for a while. It doesn't last permanently because teams do begin to suss about.
And this moves me on to this, because if you look here on this bar chart, it says Arsenal's goals from set pieces. So in 1920 it was 12. 2021 it went down to 6. And then when we had that sort of, 21, 22, 22, 23 season, 16 and 15, and in 23, 24 season, which I thought was one of our best seasons under Arteta, 22 from set pieces, 17 last season, 9 this season, but I think that might be a little bit more. I think we're up to about 11 now. But as you said, Kenny, and I'll move on to you, Jez, we've got to find different ways, haven't we? And another thing that's kind of concerned me is it's been flawless defensively. As a team, as a unit, it's been brilliant. The results have been there. We're not getting beat. We're very hard to beat. We're very efficient, very organised, and everything's fine. But having said that, we do rely on Declan Rice and the set pieces. And we're not really scoring goals. What I mean by not scoring goals from elsewhere, like Saka's not really scoring goals. Eze's not scoring the goals that we've just spoken about. They're not really Trossard's not chipping in, is he? So if this all breaks down, is it a worry? Do we or can we continue for the rest of the season with these sort of figures on set pieces?
Look, no team has ever won the Premier League on just set pieces. You've got to score goals from open play, right? We've done well. We've got a fantastic set piece taker in Rice. But if he gets injured, who have we got to replace him? We haven't.
And all this looks completely different, Jez, doesn't it?
Yeah. So that is a concern. We have to somehow figure out or get the players in the right opportunity, the right position to score goals from open play. Right? If we're going to contend in all these competitions, as we are currently, and we haven't entered the FA Cup yet, right? Then we've got to score more goals from open play. It's unsustainable to think that we can win the Premier League, Champions League, Carrier Bag Cup at the moment from just open from set piece goals. It's not going to happen. It's going to dry up eventually. Okay, 23-24 season, 22 goals from set pieces. Did we win the league? No.
And we were scoring from other positions that season as well, weren't we?
Yeah, we were.
You know what I mean? So
we didn't win the league. So, it's just not feasible to think about it. So we've got to find a way. And we've got the tools there, right? Let's not think we're being negative here. We have got the tools. We've got them. We've got Saka, who I don't think at the moment is on form. He doesn't look, to me, that he's fully fit. I think he's still conscious of that hamstring. I've noticed he does duck out of a few things now and again when he's under a big challenge. That's a concern. And I get it. I understand that. Because it was a horrific injury to his hamstring, having to have surgery like that. But we must somehow, we've got to get the likes of Gyökeres. If Trossard's going to be, I'm not saying he is a regular start, then he's got to get in the mix. But we've also got if we continue to play with Eze, which I hope we do, get him in that mix as well. Because we can't keep relying on goals from corners. We're great, we're fantastic, but it ain't going to last. It will dry up eventually. Somewhere, somebody will pull the plug on us, and that one will go out down the sink. Because somehow, and this is where, before I shut up,
no, go on, mate.
We will see how good Arteta is at coaching these players into different positions to how to score goals. That's the sign of a good manager. Yeah,
no, facts. Kenny, I mean, look at that. I mean, the 23-24 season, we were pretty prolific, and we still chipped in with the set pieces. It's okay being set pieces, isn't it? If you're scoring goals from other areas. But the fact of the matter is, if you're not scoring goals from other areas, and I've said this as well, you take your most lethal weapon out, which is Declan Rice, which is, it is a worry, isn't it? So
it is a worry. But
keep going.
You've got to remember the reason why we do teams aren't. We're not breaking teams down in open play. It's just fact. Teams are really, really organised and well set up against us. The Crystal Palace game at the Emirates was a great example of that. Where we just couldn't break them down. Fulham as well. Don't get me wrong. Fulham came at us, but when we had the ball, Fulham, like I said, were organised. They were even organised set pieces, and we just got they got unlucky with one, and we scored. So it's one of those things where it's not so much an issue, but it's how we're able to beat teams. You may find against Sunderland that it might be a set piece again, because Sunderland are going to look at their first half against Everton. They're really sloppy. They pushed up many trees. They gave Everton way too much space. They ain't going to do that against us. So it'd be the same sort of mantra where for us to win it, it'll be the set piece, and then once they score, they're going to we're going to make ourselves difficult to beat. But yeah, for now, until we get players who can unlock the door and try and play a more expansive style, that's going to have to do.
Good point.
It is. No, it's going to have to do. So talking about that game, Sunderland on Saturday, 5:30 kickoff under the lights. Weather forecast up north is not going to be great, apparently. Wind, rain, whatever. Sunderland have got a good home form. I think they're fourth in the league, and they're not there by a fluke, are they? So, we've got to respect that on Saturday. Can you see him making big changes, guys? I mean, can you see him people in the chat saying he Capier left back. Can you see him making changes? Can you see him kind of doing a little bit of madness, or do you think he's just going to stick to his Calafioris and all of that and carry on as what we've been doing?
I think it'd be stupid to make any changes right now. We've got a winning formula, right? We're going to go to a very tough ground to play at. Stadium of light, the atmosphere there. We've all been there. We know what it's like. It's noisy. It's intense. It's a lovely stadium, actually. But I think if he starts to tinker, Arteta, with the team right now, that is a recipe for disaster. There's nothing to change. Let them go there now with what we've got. Put the full team out, because we've got to go at Sunderland. They're very good at home. They haven't lost at home yet.
No.
Right. So we've got to go there and attack them. And they're pretty damn good at the old counter-attack. Let's put it right. So we can't afford to be stupid. The defence we've got, I think Sunderland would find very hard to break down. We've got the midfield at the moment. Eze needs to step up for this game. We've got the forward. Yeah, Marino up front. Go for it. Go for it. I ain't got a problem with that. Right. But don't tinker with it. Don't do anything stupid, because that way, will we concede? I hope not. But they are very good at home, Sunderland. So it's going to be a tough one. As you said, looking now, the forecast ain't very good up there on the weekend. So let's see what this Arsenal team's all about now. Going up north, in the dark, playing under the lights, as you put it, and see how good they are. And
I mean, if you look at this, Kenny, look, this is from August. I mean, even away from home, they've not been getting battered, have they? I mean, they went to Brentford August. They won 2-1 at home. Palace 0-0. Villa 1-1. Forest, they beat them 1-0 away. Man United beat them 2-0, but they was well in that game, weren't they? They was well in that game. They beat Wolves at home. Chelsea, they won away 2-1. 1-1 against a very solid Everton team. And now they've got Arsenal. If you look at look at their home, look, I mean, go on, mate. What are you saying?
They're going to race their game, but the problem is that if there's one team that can make, promising teams look ordinary, it'd be us. You looked at Crystal Palace game and you thought, right, they've got so many players who can hurt us. Yeah. We're pretty comfortable. We made them look really ordinary. We made their strikers rush what they were doing, because they had this. I think we got this kind of aura where if we go ahead, teams have this kind of belief where, we're not breaking them down. You know what? It's so difficult to break that. You can't overload them. They can't get it through the middle. How are we going to break them down? You know what I mean? Don't know what team did that last season.
Because they've only sorry to interrupt you, Kenny, but they've only conceded 8 goals. I know we've conceded 3, but that's like
they've only conceded
8 goals, haven't they?
They've got a lot of pace, but for someone to win this game, it's a case of them being able to play that tempo for 90 minutes and getting behind us. Don't worry, they got their own set piece experts. They can good in midfield. But the thing with teams that are playing against us, it's no good playing well for most of the game and then letting us off the hook and we get the goal. That's game over. So Sunderland, the way Sunderland are going to play it, do they risk it by going at us, knowing full well that if they're not clinical, we're gonna punish them, or do they just think, right, you know what, let's just make ourselves difficult to beat. Let's do everything we can on the set pieces, and then see where it takes us. It's a difficult game to navigate, but the state of play now. The only team I think that are good enough to penetrate us and score against us is Bayern Munich. I can't think of Sunderland doing it. That's not arrogance. And Spurs are just an absolute disappointment. Their fans. And then you've got Chelsea. Well, Chelsea, as we speak, their managers getting pelters for having the temerity to get a draw in against Karabakh. So it's one of those games where this clean sheet thing could last for quite a while.
Yeah, it could do. It could do. I personally think we're going to be tested on Saturday. I think these are the sort of games that if we are going to concede, it might be on Saturday. I don't think we'll lose the game. He says he's Zubamendi fit. I believe he is fit, Kenny. I've not heard Jez. I've not heard anything different.
Was he suspended? Was he suspended for the?
What it was, my friend. He was suspended on a yellow card rule in the Champions League. That's why he never. That's why
he should be fine for Saturday then.
But he's fine for Saturday. He's going to be under a lot of pressure on Saturday because one thing I did notice with Sunderland, they're very, very physical. They're a bit of a throwback where they steam in and they're happy to take a yellow card and give away free kicks.
That was to their detriment in that first half, though, against Everton.
Yeah, it was.
Where they were, like I said, getting overexcited, and they were leaving space, especially on the counter attack. The movement of Grealish and Grealish was giving them a lot of problems, especially in that first half. And obviously, who got a goal for Everton?
What's his name? The Everton guy. I forget who got the Everton goal now.
I think he played for Sheffield United. Did he play for Sheffield United?
Oh, I've got to go. Let's have a little look.
Everton goal scorer. Let me just get it up because he got the last two goals at Goodison Park, wasn't it? He was the last scorer at Goodison Park. We're going to go Everton forward. Let's have a look.
It was Ndai.
Ndai, that's right. Ndai's movement was giving them a lot of trouble in that first half.
Big up, chat.
Ndai, you see, Ndai's goal was a case with that movement, turning his marker and putting it in the back of the net.
Which is what we want to see Saka do.
Yeah. So one thing Sunderland have to do is that by trying to take the game to Everton, what they did is they gave a lot of spaces where they got, you know what I mean? They play that against us, it's curtains because they made a lot of mistakes. Everton could have been 2 or 3 up.
Easy.
They play against us. They will be 2 or 3 up. Will be 2 or 3 up.
Well, we hope so. We hope so. If Marino gets his boots on or his head on and something, or Rice delivers. My biggest problem is that they will put us under pressure in midfield. I don't think Declan Rice and Zubamendi will have complete control of that midfield. I think Xhaka will get about them. What do you reckon, Jez? I mean, and I've said this with Zubamendi. He's brilliant. He's brilliant when he's got space. He's brilliant when he's got time. But this game's going to really test him in that number 6, isn't it?
Well, look, I'd forgotten all about the fact that we've got our old captain playing for Sunderland.
Yeah, Granite.
Let's just hope, right? He does what he does. He gets that red card in the first 10 minutes. Because, you know what he's like, right? He's going to want to. He's going to want to
steam in, and he ain't going to take no passengers, is he?
No, he's going to want to perform against his old club.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
Well, it's not his last club, but you know what I mean.
But it's going to be a battle, isn't it? It's going to be a test for the likes of Gabriel and Saliba, isn't it? It's going to be physical.
I think it's going to be.
I'm looking forward to it. I've got to admit. I mean, before we kind of begin to wrap up, got to touch on the Bayern Munich game. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I'm really excited. I mean, this to me is like a hopefully a dress rehearsal of the final.
Yeah.
But I watched Bayern the other night against PSG. All right, PSG had a few injuries and they had a few players out. However, we haven't started very, very well in a couple of games in the Champions League. We've looked very untidy the first 20 minutes. We do that against Bayern, Kenny, and this team will punish you because I think they've got about 38 goals and they've only conceded about 4 or 5. So they're no mugs, are they?
Well, you know what? It's one extreme against the other. The best attack in Europe against arguably the best defence in Europe.
Yeah, right.
But the best attack in Europe isn't going to have Diaz, who presses from the front as he did at Liverpool, and he's very, obviously he didn't score as many goals as he did against Liverpool because the Premiership just doesn't lend for that. But in Bundesliga, he's unplayable. Him and Harry Kane can't stop scoring. And Harry Kane's dropping deep and said, "Here you go. I'm gonna put that nice little pass through to you. We'll go." But yeah, you're right. Gnabry won't get a game in it. I didn't factor in. I was on Dan Shut. Apologise to the viewers.
Isn't Jackson? Isn't Nicholas Jackson? Because he's been really playing well, hasn't he?
He's been playing well, but he hasn't scored as many goals as he liked. But he is what Nicholas Jackson does well. He does stretch his defences, and his work rate is incredible. Chelsea fans, as much as they criticised him for not doing what they wanted to do, score a lot of goals, and he took his chances.
He's been amazing.
I bet when they watch Chelsea play against Karabakh and when they watched them against Sunderland, I bet they're thinking, you know what? We had a striker who we didn't appreciate, but he runs the channels and he creates panic and makes space for everyone else. I'm sure Cole Palmer didn't have a problem with Nicholas Jackson in the team.
No, absolutely.
The work rate, and stretching defences, getting in on the end of chances. All right, he wasn't getting 20 goals a season, but he was getting his 15 and 16 goals. Which in modern day football, that's a godsend.
That's it. No, exactly. No, it's going to be really, really interesting, and we've got to go for it because 3 points against Bayern, Jez, and we can relax. Well, not relax, but we're pretty much
there.
We're pretty much there, aren't we? Bearing in mind who's that carrier at home last game of the Champions League. I know we've got to go away at Club Brugge. You, by the way, you said it. That's going to be no easy task, and they drew against Barcelona 3-3. We've still got Inter and Bruges to play, so which are both away from home. So this game on Bayern, this is something we need to take 3 points, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. It's a tough ask. It's about time we got one over on them.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
I don't want to see another 5-1, 5 years.
No.
That's not going to happen. But it's going to be a tough game. It is going to be a tough game. And I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a right battle, actually.
It's going to be exciting.
It could be one of the games of this Champions League, going head to head with them. But, as you said, right, Bruges, I mean, they were 4-3 up in the last part of that game last night. Had a goal disallowed. VAR.
No, it's crazy.
Drawing 3-3 at Barcelona, and they're no mugs.
No.
So we've got to be clever there. But that Bayern game, mate, can't wait for that one.
Yeah, no, it's going to be good, and it'll be rocking at the Emirates, won't it? Because the Bayern fans will make a spectacle of that, Kenny, won't they? Yeah. I mean, it's going to be a good night, isn't it?
They're going to have the whole of that clock end.
Oh, yeah. They'll be right underneath me where I sit. It'll be a nightmare.
They had no fans last time when they played 2 seasons ago, did they?
No. They'll have them this time, though. That's for sure. So it's going to be an interesting game. But
midfield, I always say, Jez, it's the midfield that in English has to have the game of his life. And even if he has the game of his life, there's one thing about Bayern Munich. They do take their chances.
Exactly.
They do get numbers forward, And like I said, they are your man for season team. They're as good at set pieces as we are.
Yeah.
But in terms of creativity, Harry Kane will be like murder for us, because he will play on the shoulder if you want him to, but it will drop deep, and that's where Alicia and obviously Nasbury's going to start, where they're going to play.
I was just going to say,
look for those spaces. But if it was at Nabry, it would have been like Diaz.
Yeah, but I was going to say, Kenny, right? And Calafiori's been having a brilliant season, and our fullbacks have been massively key this season. But they're going to be he's going to be tested up against Elise. And what worries me, when he goes marauding and he goes off and he goes into he won't be able to do that, because Elise is intelligent enough to attack that space. And
it's the same for Timber as well. But we have to try and win the game ourselves. They are going to have to attack at some point.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to have to. Oh, yeah, we've got to try and win it. Absolutely.
If you defend your goal line against Bayern Munich, come on, they got some really good players who can make things happen. Kimmich makes things happen. Goretzka is a good midfielder. Is still a great midfielder. It's going to be like a battle. But yeah, Kimmich is going to make things interesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. I'm looking forward to it. But score prediction before we get out of here. And once again, thank you very much for joining me. Make sure Jez is Arsenal. Go and sub to Jez and make sure you're following Kenny Ken. Please, guys, smash a little like on the video, smash a little like on the stream, and make sure you sub as well to everyone. It does help the channels. Thank you very much indeed. Jez, score prediction for Saturday. What do you think, my friend?
I actually think that could possibly be a ball fest 0-0.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
They're a tough team to score at against their home turf. And I'm not overly convinced that I think Arteta is going to want to protect his run at the moment, which is a worry, but getting out there of a 0-0, it's a point. I take that.
Right. Wow. Interesting. Because for me, I just don't want to get in the situation where we're so hell bent in protecting the 0-0, we're forgetting to go the other way a little bit. You know what I mean? And that's what's worrying me at the moment. But
you talking about the Bayern game? You talking about the Bayern game?
No, I'm talking about Saturday, Kenny. What do we'll touch on the Bayern game next week. But what I'm saying is, what do you reckon the score prediction will be on Saturday? Because we're getting.
I do think we'll win. I said
this sort of scoreline, big up Endham, 3-0 Arsenal.
Yeah, I don't see why not. Can you imagine if we score early and they tend to leave spaces, and then we pick them off? We're good enough to pick them off. You know, the way we play and how we're going to approach the game, there's no dilemmas for us, but there's a massive dilemma for Sunderland.
Yeah.
You know, they know that against Everton, when they were sloppy, they knew could get away with it because Everton will lead to spaces. You know, against Man United at Old Trafford, they got excited, but Man United picked them off. That's kind of expected at Old Trafford. But here, they're at home, and their crowd are going to want them to be robust and go for it.
And that's when we can pick them off.
And that could be suicide. So their manager's got to get it really right. I think how they beat us is a combination of how Bournemouth played against us at their ground when they beat us 2-0. Obviously, we had a player sent off, but it's a combination of knowing when to attack and knowing when to get in the front foot. But if Xhaka doesn't have a great game, then they're not beating us. If he has a great game and the players take a lead from Xhaka, then we could be in for a hard game.
Story.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
Xhaka against Declan. Xhaka against Declan.
Declan, yeah. Oh, it's going to be interesting. I'm going to go for a really scruffy, stink the place out, get out of there 2-1 Arsenal. I think we will concede.
Oh, we'll concede them, CJB. We're
going to concede Saturday. I hope we don't. But listen, I'm more concerned about getting the 3 points, not the clean sheet. Clean sheets don't, you know what I mean? I want points, not clean sheets. Obviously, I want both, but both would be ideal. But I just feel that we're going to concede. I don't know where it's going to come from. It'll come from, they might just scuff a corner or get a penalty decision. I don't know. But I think we'll win it. I think we'll win it 2-1, but I don't think it's going to be pretty. But yeah, make sure you smash the likes, guys. Sub to everyone that's here. Jez, what you got coming up? And thank you for joining me, my friend. It's been a brilliant little stream, actually. Thanks for joining me.
I really enjoyed it, mate. As always, DJ, thanks for inviting me on.
That's all right, mate.
On with you and Kenny.
No worries.
It's been a great show. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Oh, nice one. Thanks, Jez. Cool.
It hasn't seemed like an hour. It's like just gone pink.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's been a great show. I might be doing a match preview tomorrow night. But
get over to Jez and watch that, guys.
Right, I'm not set it up because I've got a very busy weekend.
Yeah.
So family comes first, you know that one.
100%, mate.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to the game, Sunderland. I'll be watching it as we all will be.
Yeah.
And I'm having listened to your iconic knowledge of you two gentlemen. I'm still going 0-0.
Yeah, well, that's it, Jez. This is what it's all about. Everyone's different, and that's what makes football wonderful, because we've all got different opinions, we've all got different outlooks and views, and you know, our irate players is different to our Kenny players. I mean, Kenny's a massive. Kenny thinks that Zubimendi's world class. I think
no, I don't say that. That's what SLB. You know what it is? Look, we are going to drop points because that's the nature of the beast. The team will be good enough to get a point. A team may be even lucky enough and good enough to beat us. It's the nature of the beast. But the fact is that we're in a title challenge. I always say that our rivals, whoever they may be, have to beat us.
Exactly.
Either at the Emirates,
exactly. And it'd be interesting, wouldn't it?
Or at the Etihad Stadium. If they don't beat us, then they're not going to win the title.
Exactly. And them two clash on the Sunday, which would be interesting. So it's really important.
We'll have to basically pull a hammy on the 90th metre of the 100 metres. That's the only way we lose this league. And we've done it before, so it can happen. It can happen.
We've seen it over the years, boys.
90th metre of the 100. We have, haven't we?
True.
True. Absolutely true, Kenny. Absolutely true. This is why our feet are firmly on the ground, because the amount of times we've seen it over the years, and not just with Arteta, we've seen it under Wenger, we've seen it under George Graham, we've seen it under Terry Neal. I mean, come on. So yeah, let's just take it game by game. I know it's an old cliche, but that's what you got to do. Kenny, what you got anything coming up, my friend? I know Jez is going on the Bruce Banana later on Shane.
No, all I've got is probably like, you know, obviously watching the match really. Yeah. And obviously I'll do the fan cam afterwards. And that's it really.
You're going to chill out. You're going to chill out, Kenny. Right and all, my friend.
Well, I jokingly said yesterday that players that if you're neutral watching Arsenal play, if we get the first goal, just switch over and watch Strictly. Seriously.
Yeah.
Is that what you said on Dan's show last night?
Yeah, I said that. Switch over Strictly, but it wasn't wrong, was it?
It's not pretty, is it? Let's be honest. It's not a pretty watch when Arsenal.
Was the Burnley game entertaining? Was our game on Tuesday entertaining?
Not really. Not really. We're getting the job done, aren't we? We're getting the job done, and it's efficient. But entertainment value, no. Would I watch Strictly? No, it's got to be really bad for me to watch Strictly. I've got to be honest.
I'm not too funny. If that's the only things on the other side, you might as well watch something, innit? Because
it was Tony Adams. I did watch it when he was on there.
Yeah, I had a little watch. I had a little cheeky watch, and the Paul Merson.
And we suffered with them because they were so bad, especially Tony.
Yeah.
Tony,
Yeah,
Tony looked like he had a pipe on his backside when he was dancing.
Yeah, he ain't got a lot of grace, has he?
You ain't
Oh,
seen
it's
me
awful.
dance at a wedding, Kenny, yet.
Please.
So I'm not saying nothing. You ain't
You know
seen
the way
me.
Paul Merson, the way he's positioned, the way he walks, he dances how he walks.
Mm.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's true, don't it?
True. Yeah.
There's only one good thing about that show, and that is the young female dancers.
Yeah,
exactly.
I think they're very talented, Kenny.
Can you imagine Lee Dixon on Strictly? The way he walks like that. Can you imagine him dancing like that as well, Lee Dixon?
Oh dear, honestly, yeah, I remember that. Why do they put themselves through it? I really don't know. I really don't know.
200 grand.
Yeah, I suppose so. We've got that other mess coming up soon, haven't we? That lasts for about 5 years, doesn't it? I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here. We've got all that to consider. I can't watch it. I just can't watch it. Do you know what I said? You know what I say about them shows? I think that it's overkill. I think they should come around every 2 years, and then people sort of like. But where it's on every single years, and it's a bit.
It's all
a little bit.
You know, it's like the Strictly for BBC is basically like it's basically their the goose that lays the golden egg, and ITV in terms of like I'm a Celebrity. Get me out of it. That's that lays the golden egg as well. That's probably their most watched shows. I'm a Celebrity and ITV and Strictly on the BBC.
Yeah, it probably is. It probably is. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I've watched the Traitors. I have watched that a couple of times. I quite like that.
I haven't got a clue what's going on.
But other than that, I just don't watch TV. I'm always with you guys and doing all of this and keeping the chat entertained. But listen, chat, we are going to be getting out of here. Blessed to everyone. Thank you for joining us this Thursday tea time. I hope we haven't kept you too long. Thank you for joining us. Make sure you sub to Jez. Make sure you sub to Kenny. Make sure that you smash a like on this channel on the way out as well. Or if you're watching it back, go put a like on it and a hype. The new thing, get the hypes up as well. So put a little hype on it as well. It all helps the channel. Gents, thank you very much. And on that note, enjoy the rest of your evening and we're gone.